My 33F boyfriend, 36M, is committed, but won't help me. I don't know how to go about this one without sounding like I'm bitching and moaning. But I'll wholeheartedly admit that I think I've reached my limit. I don't know if I'm right in my thoughts or not, so I'm hoping that you all can tell me I'm screwy or that I actually am right. We've been dating for 5 years, living together nearly 3, and we've been friends for 10 years. He's the love of my life and I have no doubts that I am his. I have had to have a life-altering surgery due to unfortunate circumstances and health conditions. While I was promised a speedy recovery, it has been everything but a speedy or smooth recovery. Due to some complications, I was forced to apply for short-term disability. In doing so, it forced my boss to replace me. I still have a job, but it's a temporary one as they cannot guarantee how long the work will last. I was completely crushed, and my boyfriend was as kind as he could be during my loss. However, the very next day after I had received news that I was replaced, he told me that I needed to find another job as he wasn't going to pay my bills. Before I go more into the story, let me explain something to you. One condition he had for me to live with him is that my bills are mine alone, and his bills are his alone. I had initially agreed to this, warning him that by the time we got married this wouldn't be allowed. He had been burned in past relationships by this, and I told him that I'm responsible enough to take care of this on my own. Back to my story. When he told me to get another job, I was literally on bed rest. I wasn't even allowed to sit up straight for extended periods of time. I told him that if he thought I was in any condition to work any other job while I was forced bed rest, he was sorely mistaken. I reminded him that he was at that appointment. He heard the same words the doctor told me. It was either apply for disability, or get fired because the doctor was not going to clear me for work. I was at risk of my stitches coming undone because I had a hyperinflammatory reaction to not only the surgery, but the activity I had been doing. I had been in the ER twice. A few days later, I decided to start calculating my new wages, bills, etc. I found that I was unable to keep my head afloat due to the new job change. I told him, in tears, that I needed his help. Keep in mind, I'm not the healthiest person. Half my paychecks were going towards other medical bills. He initially told me, that's not my problem. However, a few hours later, he came back to me and said, let me see what I can do to help. He promised to take on out storage unit, and to take on the groceries, gas, and other small amounts. My entire paychecks are now going towards medical bills. I have no fun money, no savings, nothing. I'm 100% reliant on him. A couple days ago, while I was getting ready for the day, my hairdryer of 14 years suddenly started smoking. I turned it off to see that now I will need a new hairdryer. I asked for him to help, reminding him I have no free money. His response? Get your hair cut short like mine. I'd much rather pay for that. Yesterday, I'm having yet another complication with my procedure and am fighting a low-grade infection. When I asked him to help cover the medication cost, he said, that's not my scope, I can't help you. We talked about it some today, and he told me that while he wasn't trying to be rude, but he claims that because he missed so much work due to my constant complications, money is tight. It's just the two of us. No kids. No pets. He refuses to spend any more than $190 on groceries per week. We literally eat bologna sandwiches nearly every night for dinner. He smokes, and easily spends $400 a week on cigarettes. But he won't help me get a hairdryer, a one-time purchase for, hopefully, several years to come. He blames me for our current poverty, but passive-aggressively. Since my surgery, he refuses to have anything sexual to do with me. He kisses me goodnight, but he sighs every time I ask him for a kiss. He won't hug me, he won't touch me, unless I touch him first. I was actually cleared to resume sex, but he says that until I have my 16-week post-op, he refuses any advance. He's lied to me in the past about marriage. Initially he said yes, he wanted us to get married. But in October last year, he said he wanted nothing to do with marriage. He spoke to his dad about it, we had a huge fight, and his dad told him he was being really stupid and an ass to me. He came back saying he was sorry he lied, but he wants marriage after all. He's just turning into someone I no longer recognize. I love him, but he's becoming so cantankerous I feel like I'm choking to death. Am I the one who's crazy? Or is he the one who's gone bonkers? And if it's one, the other, or both, what precisely can we do to fix this? Do we have a chance for reconciliation? Or are we irredeemable after all? It's so clear he never wants to marry or merge his life with you. This will never be a family man, move on ASAP. This is very sad. He doesn't seem to care for you at all. He's selfish, stingy, inconsistent, flippant. This is not someone who seems like marriage material. Unfortunately, sometimes people's true colors can come out when their partner gets sick.